right before the latest episode of My Hero Academia came out, Horikoshi posted a quick illustration on Twitter. Now, at first glance, this doesn't seem like anything crazy because, like, the man just celebrating the episode release of My Hero Academia, the series that he writes, etc. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like anything that stands out. But if you've been following the drama for, over a month now, then obviously you're probably very well aware of what this necessarily means. It's actually good news, honestly, because Horikoshi hasn't actually tweeted or said anything socially on social media or anything since February 3rd, and he finally just posted something, which basically shows that he is not fully cutting off social media, but on top of that, he posted an illustration, which he didn't do for the previous episode, and as I said in my other videos, like the follow-up videos, etc., is he normally always posts, like, an illustration to every single episode, like, celebrating it, but he didn't do it in the previous episodes, which was very shocking. So, it's good to see that he's back, and that's some wonderful news to really just top off this wonderful episode of My Hero Academia. So I'm happy to see Horikoshi back, and I think many can agree with me, it's just great news all around for the My Hero Academia community. But okay, with that out of the way, let's talk about Mineta. So Mineta had an interesting scene within this episode. He had his character design kind of fail him. He wanted to play the guitar, but because of his character design, what he was gifted with, what Horikoshi designed him as, he was not able to play it. His arms were just too short. His limbs were too short. And it's hilarious to see just such a fourth wall joke with him complaining about his character design and walking away. I had a good laugh there, and I know many that are a fan of My Hero Academia had a good laugh at that because it's just such a shocking joke because you don't expect a fourth wall breaking joke like that, especially when you just see the way Mineta says it and he just walks off and all that. And honestly, it's kind of hilarious that in the end, thanks to his, situation with his character design, he probably got the best role in the entirety of this play that they're going to be doing, this concert. He literally is surrounded by the girl characters, the main female cast, and you can just see him really just in a world of happiness and paradise. I think that, what was sacrificed, for instance, when it came to his character design, it was made up with what he earned within this concert that they're doing. So it's kind of hilarious, but in the end, it seems like Mineta got one of the best roles that was fit for him. But okay, all jokes aside, this episode kind of dives a little bit more into Gentle Criminal as a character and kind of what he does, why he does it, and kind of the dynamic between La Brava and him. So as we know from his brief introduction at the end of the last episode, Gentle is pretty much a YouTuber. He is the equivalent to a YouTuber within the My Hero Academia universe, and he is someone that is trying to make video content to kind of go viral. And it's fascinating, it's very meta, honestly, because that's kind of what a lot of YouTubers are like as well. I know, in a way, I'm not gonna lie, there's those times to where when I make videos, I wonder if this is going to be big or not, or people are going to care about it, etc. And seeing Gentle's, overall dilemma and how he talks about, let's say, his view count to just how people view him or how people are getting bigger than him because they're talking about some really despicable stuff, etc. It's honestly very thought-provoking, and it's honestly relatable to such an insane extent, and I think anyone that has been around the YouTube community for a while, not just as a content creator, but just as a watcher on the platform, will pretty much know how YouTube runs at this point. Usually you have these individual content creators that are really high up, that get really big, etc. Not always, but most of the time, it's because of a viral video that kind of spirals out of control and causes a lot of issues, like Logan Paul. That is a perfect example to kind of explain the entire situation. And it's fascinating, when this came out within the manga, Gentle literally as a character was written maybe about a month or a couple months after the Logan Paul situation in Japan, which is kind of interesting, and it makes you wonder if Horikoshi himself was even aware of that. It was a big situation, and it makes you wonder if he did know. Did he know about that entire ordeal, and what, Gentle was saying within this episode, he will not, stoop down to despicable means to try to get viewership, etc. I wonder if that was Horikoshi's commentary on this situation. Honestly, we might not ever know, but it is fascinating to kind of see Horikoshi dabbling into something that, you know, I do and many enjoy on a daily basis, watching YouTube videos. I know I still watch YouTube videos even though I'm a content creator. It's fun to watch, let's say, Dragon Ball Z Abridged, even though it ended. It's kind of sad. That just saddened me a little bit. But the point, though, is that, you know, Gentle as a character is fundamentally realistic. He is such a realistic character that I think many can really just see themselves in him, kind of his struggles, etc., and especially more so if you're a content creator. And he wants to basically be known. He wants to be the next biggest hit, but he doesn't want to do something so despicable to where, you know, people view him as a straight-up evil menace. Even though he is considered a villain, he isn't necessarily evil, so to say. You can clearly see from his overall dialogue from the beginning of this episode. He even talks about how he just does petty crimes for the sake of, you know, the good of the people. He wants to basically shout out and point out and expose individuals that are extremely bad or corrupt, like, for instance, certain corporations kind of handling their products and, you know, trying to hide the fact that they're about to expire, etc. It doesn't seem like it matters in the grand scheme of things, but what Gentle obviously believes in, he wants the world to be a better place, but at the same time, he wants to be noticed too for something, to be known for something, so it's interesting. And you can obviously see that Labrava is a huge fan of Gentle, even though she helps him with content creating. She's, you know, his editor, etc. You can see that she really does love Gentle as an individual, just because when she first saw his video when he was introducing himself to the world, she got all giddy and started fangirling about him. It's kind of fascinating, honestly, and it really makes you wonder what the dynamic between Gentle and Labrava really is. But backing up for a second, let's talk about what Gentle is having to do on the regular, or what Labrava is having to do on a regular. Apparently, Gentle, his entire channel gets shut down constantly, completely terminated, and that obviously will lead into a lot of issues, which could explain why within the 6 years that he's been on the platform, he's not really making much progress. Obviously, his content is very eccentric, but at the same time, he's not someone that is, like, bad or anything. But because of how often he probably gets terminated, it makes it to where he can't really gain a following, a massive following. The only individuals that would probably watch him are those that are a part of the police force, watching him, studying where his next move is going to be, or individuals that just have a cult following, like individuals that just really enjoy his content, but it's just a small niche that it's not really going to go anywhere. And you can see that some of the comments are also very realistic, like, you know, many are just saying, oh, his content's bad, etc., and then you have, like, I want to see Labrava and all that, and it's just like, honestly, that makes so much sense people would react like that. And Labrava obviously is having to re-upload all of this man's videos on a constant, which could definitely be some grueling work. I couldn't imagine uploading all the videos I posted over the years in a quick session after, let's say, account is gone or whatever. I couldn't do it. I definitely couldn't. I would lose my freaking mind. So, it's just like, yeah, I think there is definitely a lot of inner workings going on here, and Horikoshi definitely did study content creators. It's definitely clear that he studied it to a certain extent to be able to write characters like Labrava and Gentle. But, okay, enough of that. What is his motive? What is he doing now? Obviously, he doesn't necessarily give a name. He doesn't say what he's going to do, but he does imply enough to where if you, obviously, watching My Hero Academia, you know what he's talking about. He's talking about potentially breaking into UA and actually causing some form of havoc to where people notice him and society realizes, you know, like, holy crap, Gentle is actually here. And we don't really know what his main motivation is, like what he's really trying to accomplish there, but society will recognize it, which is very true, because UA has been in the public spotlight for a very long time now, since the beginning of the story, and which has caused this entire situation and the stress behind the scenes to all of the students of UA, which is why our characters are trying to do the concert in the first place. So if, let's say, supposedly Gentle breaks in, it would make a situation that's already really bad even worse. So it would make sense why he would definitely be a major spotlight if that definitely is the case. Now, obviously, this could lead into more issues maybe handling with Eri, because Eri, this is her first time going to, let's say, something like this, a school festival, to be able to enjoy herself. So there's a lot of bad things that could go down as well if Gentle does actually break in. I want to mention something with Eri, since I'm actually already on the topic of her as well. There is a brief little segment at the end of the episode that shows Eri with a change of attire. She has new clothes on that makes her super freaking cute. But there's a little fascinating detail that is not really explained, and you can only find out with a quick little, panel that Horikoshi wrote a long time ago when a volume release came out for this segment of the story. But you actually see Studio Bones going out of their way and adding it in without even really saying it. If you watch the opening song of this episode, you see it right at the beginning after the title, My Hero Academia. You see a shirt, tossed into the air. It's like a weird Neko-looking shirt, and you're just like, what is going on there? And in the quick little panel that Horikoshi wrote for when the volume release came out, he explained that Aizawa didn't really know what to get Eri, so he got her these very weird and kind of ugly clothing to have her wear, and obviously the doctors threw it out and got her a better change of clothes, which is what she wears at the end of this episode. And like I said, the opening song kind of shows the clothes being tossed into the air, which is a reference to that, and I really like how Studio Bones went out of their way to add in that additional detail that really didn't even need to be added. It's not something that is relatively important, but it does add a sense of depth and world building to the story, or at least a little bit more between what Aizawa is or how he is as a person when it comes to handling children like Eri. So I just find it cool how Studio Bones went the extra mile to do a quick little segment like that, but also to give reference to the, quick little page that Horikoshi wrote in the volume. But okay, enough of that though. Let's talk about the stress and the overall concert, who is doing what role, etc. Obviously, Bakugo is the talk of the town. The man gets to play the drums, and I think anyone that knows Bakugo's character enough is fully aware that drums does suit his character. Drums are very loud, they do have a lot of talent to them, it takes a lot of talent to play instruments, and Bakugo has always been naturally gifted for different things, but on top of that, drums just fit his personality, and just seeing him play the drums like he did, he was exceptionally good, and many are like, you gotta be this, and throughout that entire ordeal, Bakugo basically explains what they're doing and how he feels about the entire situation. He recognizes that the school is very angry with them. The school doesn't want their class to pity them and act like, oh, we're trying to help you out. It's very self-fulfilling. It's like they're trying to satisfy themselves, not really help out UA, etc. And Bakugo is like, look, if we're doing this right. You're doing it for yourselves. You're not just gonna say you're doing it for everyone else. You're also doing it for us as well, to have a good time, to relieve stress. And I just love Bakugo's entire mentality. He's very aware of the situation, and he blames himself most of all. Even though UA has been through a lot, and they've obviously Class A has been the main spotlight, Bakugo's kind of been the main one that's brought in a lot of the focus, a lot of the drama, because of him being kidnapped by the villains and having that whole operation to save him, which caused the symbol of peace to fall and resign. So it makes sense why Bakugo shoulders this pressure most of all, and the class is obviously starting to recognize this, that Bakugo's been under a lot of stress as well, and this entire situation could be able to ease his pain, but also allow him to fit in with the class a little bit more, to actually be friendly with each other. So it's all around a good situation, and it just really shows how this class is really meshing well together, and having an actual friendly discussion. They feel like friends. They don't feel like, just characters that are forced to be in the same room together to help out against villain encounters. They actually feel like they are friends going to school together and learning things. Which, by the way, let's talk about Tokoyami. So Tokoyami is going to be playing the guitar, and I just love how he plays the guitar. The entire sound and all that he does is beautiful, and I really think that it suits his character overall just because of his character design. And speaking of sound, I cannot help but talk about Jiro. I mean, I can't be the only one that was blown away by just the English singing that she displayed. I don't know if that's a new actor they decided to get to sing that, or if that was Jiro's voice actor actually voicing that, but whatever the case may be, that honestly shocked me, and this is going to be a really good concert in this anime if we get to hear vocals like that. we have, Aoyama, he's going to be doing a disco ball, which is hilarious when you just think about his character and how he loves to sparkle and twinkle. So just like all these little things that, we see these roles that these characters are getting, it fits perfectly with what their character is. So yeah, it's a good episode of My Hero Academia. I think honestly that this really goes to show that we don't need action 24/7 to have a good arc of My Hero Academia. I think honestly this is one of my favorite arcs of the series. I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's my favorite because I just do love the difference of the atmosphere. Because normally when it comes to My Hero Academia, you have, arcs centered around villains taking them down, and even though there obviously is a looming threat like Gentle and La Brava, it's not as serious as, let's say, something like, Overhaul, Shigaraki, the Nomu, etc., Stain. It's not like that. And I think because of that overall tone, it really goes to show that Horikoshi Sensei is an exceptional writer that can really do different themes that you don't normally see. And it's a very risky move, honestly. Just this entire arc is very risky because it's not something that we have seen thus far. This is a very slice-of-life-ish school life arc, and it's not the action-orientated arc, which could be a major, turnaway for a lot of readers. But I think because of just how different it is, it really meshes well with the story and gives a lot of details that I think many fans are going to appreciate. Also, one last thing I do need to mention, though, before I wrap up the video, is the All Might and Izuku training scene. It's honestly nice to see Izuku learning how to use wind pressure, because we already saw examples of this from All Might, but also with Izuku versus Overhaul. And it's nice that he's going to be able to incorporate wind pressure into his techniques for now on. So he's kind of going to be using his hands more to use wind pressure, while his legs are going to be doing the main damage dealing. It's just really nice to see the development on Izuku's fighting style. But I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.